everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today to celebrate the life of Monsignor Fernando Gutierrez. My name is Lovelyn Barlahan Hansen, and I am the niece of Monsignor Gutierrez. My mother, Felicidad Gutierrez Barlahan, is his youngest sibling and only sister. Our family is in absolute awe, and we are so touched by the outpouring of love, prayers, tributes, and support coming in from all over the world. Thank you so much for lifting up my beloved uncle and our family in all your prayers. We have suffered such a tremendous loss in our family, as he was one of the main patriarchs. Monsignor Fernando Garcia Gutierrez was born on January 30th, 1939 in Hugunoy, Bulacan, to Victor Gutierrez and Victoria Garcia. He has a total of 8 siblings, 6 who are dearly departed: Leonardo, Pedro, Domingo, Benjamin, Antonio, Leopoldo, and his last 2 living siblings, Jose, who resides in Hilo, Hawaii, and Felicidad, who resides in San Diego, California. Monsignor received his early education at Hugunoy Elementary School, attended the first 2 years of high school at St. Anne's Academy in Hugunoy, and then entered Our Lady of Guadalupe Minor Seminary. He was ordained to the priesthood in 1966. He served in 4 parishes in the Diocese of Malolos, which includes Barasoyan Church, Pulilan, Sibol in San Miguel, Pulong Buhangin in Santa Maria. He served as the parochial vicar from 1966 to 1969 and pastor from 1969 to 1972. He then came to the United States from 1975 to 1982 to take up his master's and doctorate at the Catholic University of America, located in Washington, D.C. This is where he earned his master's in religious studies and also a doctorate in ministry. After receiving his degrees, he returned back to the Philippines to help his diocese establish a pre-college and a major seminary. He was so very proud to be part of that legacy. He served as the very first rector for 14 years from 1982 to 1995 at the Immaculate Conception Major Seminary, and also was Episcopal Vicar for Religion in the Diocese of Malolos. He went back to the USA in 1995, where he remained until 2016. He served in the Diocese of San Diego as the parochial vicar from 1995 to 1999 and pastor from 1999 to 2001. He served in several parishes, which included St. Francis Church in Vista, St. Catherine Labor in Claremont, and St. Michael's in Paradise Hills. He also served as needed at St. Mary's Church in National City, all these parishes located within San Diego County. In 2001, he joined the staff as the Federal Prison Supervisory Chaplain of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, which is the federal prison. This was for the U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of Prisons. He decided to retire in August of 2009 to a medical disability. Between 2009 and 2016, he spent part of his retirement here in San Diego recovering from his health issues. But on most Sundays, he enjoyed serving Mass at the Paradise Village Senior Center Chapel in National City. He also contributed as a weekly columnist for the Asian Journal of San Diego and a broadcaster in his weekly radio programs, Ihulog ang Lambat, also known as Lower Your Nets, for Radio Filipino America, also located in National City. It was always a treat to have him as a guest speaker or attend one of his masses. He was known and loved for adding his comedic humor during his talks and speeches. He was often invited to conduct weekend retreats and deliver lectures at convocations and concilios in Christianity, weekends, and group reunions. Monsignor was a catalyst in the Concilium movement, particularly here in the San Diego area. He also conducted talks and retreats for the El Shaddai movement, and he leaves a great legacy, especially here in San Diego, where he made many beloved friends in these special organizations. In November 3rd of 2016, Monsignor decided to leave permanently for the Philippines for retirement in his family's ancestral home in Hugunoy, Bulacan. He has visited on and off about 3 times since 2016 through 2019 for medical checkups, surgeries, and recoveries. One of these visits included a very, very special milestone to celebrate his 50th golden anniversary of priesthood on October 7th of 2016. That was at St. Charles Church, and it was wonderful to see so many gathered for him during that celebration. During his retirement in the Philippines, he continued to write books, and we believe he was on his 13th book during his passing. See, my Uncle Ferr has accomplished so much in his life. We're so proud of him. My uncle had always known at a young age that he wanted to be a priest and that he was called to be a servant of God. And it was absolutely extraordinary and special that God selected him for such a very special calling. He definitely had a gift of bringing the Word of God. He made going to Mass so fun with all his witty anecdotes and humor. I know many of you are familiar with that. It was like going to a weekly comedy show at church. I loved hearing the congregation break out into laughter when he would tell a funny joke during Mass. But my brother and I, we were so fortunate to have grown up with my uncle. Many of you know Monsignor endearingly as Monsi, but to my brother, myself, and our large extended family, we simply knew him as Uncle Ferr or Tatang Ferr. It was an honor to have a priest in our family, but more an honor to have him as the fun and lovable uncle he was. He treated my brother and I like we were his very own children.
To come home.
When we were little, it brought him joy to shower us with gifts and treats. It was always exciting when he would stay and visit us during Christmas. He was like Santa Claus, bearing gifts and treats. He was always excited to spoil us and see the smile on our faces. In his suitcase, when he arrived, he would have VHS cassette tapes with cartoons for us to watch together with him. Our favorite would be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Charlie Brown Christmas stories, which I've always cherished because it reminds me of his visits when we were very, very young. But we also love visiting him at his seminary in the Philippines. That was one of my fondest memories, was going there to visit. And he was so incredibly proud of his work there. He would have what I called a priest's briefcase that he would leave at my parents' house during his visits in the case he suddenly needed to do a mass of some sort. So he always had a bag ready to go. But sometimes my brother and I would get into his briefcase where we knew he would store his chalice, his communion bread, the holy water, and wine. And my brother and I would pretend to do communion. But seriously, what a unique and fortunate experience to have grown up with a priest and as your uncle. It doesn't happen often, and that was such a cool thing for us to have that. But yeah, we would play communion with his briefcase, and my uncle just loved us regardless of how naughty my brother and I could be. Eventually, my uncle made his home and a life in San Diego for over 20 years. We have so many wonderful, wonderful memories with him growing up. My family would attend Mass, and my brother and I would sit in the front row. We would giggle whenever we would hear him crunching on the communion bread on his mic. because it would be so loud and crunchy, like he was eating a snack of potato chips in the middle of Mass. And you can hear it so loud. And there were times we couldn't hold in our laughter. We would be so red in the face, just giggling in the front row. And he would look down on us so sternly, like he was mad, but try not to make it too obvious. And we would try so hard to hold in our laugh. But he would scold us after church and ask us why we were laughing in the front row. But even with that Gutierrez temper, that fire, yes, some of you with Gutierrez blood know exactly what that is. He didn't stay mad at us too long. I think he always had a soft spot for us, even when we were very makulit or salvaje. He absolutely loved us. My uncle has seen me grow up and witness every major milestone in my life. He baptized me as a baby. He presided over my first communion and confirmation. He was even there for my debutante, my college graduation. He presided over mine and my husband Jeff's wedding in 2005, and also presided over our two sons, Ezra and Ethan's baptisms, which he absolutely loved and adored them as well. But he also presided over many of the same special ceremonies for many of our friends and our family members. Countless weddings, baptisms, blessings of homes, even funerals for our friends and family's loved ones. They would often call me or my mom to get to him, and sometimes we kind of felt like his booking agents trying to book his, special things around town. But he never refused, and he always made himself available to everyone in the community. He was such a favorite, especially in our Filipino-American community in San Diego. He's always been present for so many milestones. So it's really hard to imagine life without him here anymore. I'll miss him incredibly in this life. I know we all will. For the past decade, my uncle has overcome a number of health issues, first with a stroke in the late 2000s and then battling cancer. He was brave through each hurdle thrown his way, and he never gave up. Many of our family and his close circle of friends, but most especially my mom, who he is so very, very close to, along with my dad, they all did their best to help him and take care of him during these challenges in his life. His mobility may have been affected, but it never ever deterred him from continuing to serve God, and even authored over a dozen books in the last decade. He was focused and a fighter until the very, very, very end. However, I never imagined that we would have lost my uncle during a worldwide pandemic. Had it not been for COVID, our family would have immediately flown to the Philippines to be right by his side. During the last few hours of his life, I was so lucky that I was able to spend time with him on a video call. We are so grateful to his caretaker, Nati, and my cousin, Atipia, for making that possible and for being by his side until his very last breath. I was able to thank him for everything he did for us and let him know how much we loved him and he meant to us. I was able to serenade him one last time, and I really hope it gave him some peace during that final hour. My uncle meant the world to us and meant everything to so many of us. Life won't be the same without his humor, wisdom, and presence here on earth. And my goodness, what a huge and incredible impact he's had on so many of us here. He taught us so much. There'll never be another like our Uncle Ferr, our Monsi. He was truly, truly one in a million. It gives me peace to know he is happy, healthy, and whole again in heaven. He lived an incredible life and accomplished so much during his time here. Now, he will live in all eternity in heaven as God had promised. As soon as all is safe in the world again, Uncle Ferr, I promise you we will come see you at your final resting place. I'm so sorry we weren't able to be by your side, but we will forever miss you and we love you always. I'll be forever grateful for the opportunity to say goodbye, to sing to you one last time, and feel your love in those final moments. Please watch over us now and guide us. Thank you so much for loving us unconditionally. Until we meet again, we love you.
I have called, you are mine, you are precious to me, and I love you. Be not afraid, be not afraid. Even if you wander away from my loving, far away from home you might stray, still will I seek you and gently take you with me and bring you back. Not afraid, I have made you, I have saved you, I have called you, you are mine, you are precious to me, and I love you. Be not afraid, be not afraid. I will go before you and level the mountains, give you treasures from out of the dark. Long hidden riches will stream and last from you, for I am God. Be not afraid, I have made you, I have saved you, I have called you, you are mine, you are precious to me, and I love you. Be not afraid, be not afraid, be not afraid. Be not afraid.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the
I'm sorry that I left you. I know you feel alone, but God told me that He needed me. He called me to come home. In what seemed to be an instant, in the twinkling of an eye, an angel gently took my hand and led me toward the sky. As I ascended into heaven, beyond the pearly gates, angels were rejoicing. Then I saw His radiant face. God's eyes shone down upon me from the glory of His throne. He said, enter into paradise, 'cause heaven's now your home. I fought the fight, I finished the race. Throughout the trial, I kept my faith. No longer do I suffer, my body's been made whole. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home. God told me not to worry. He said you'd be okay, because eternity's forever, and we'll meet again someday. I fought the fight, I finished the race. Throughout the trial, I kept my faith. No longer do I suffer, my body's been made whole. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home.
Sikat ng umaga, buhos ng ulan, simoy ng dapit hapon, sinag ng buwan, batis na malinaw, dagat na bughaw. Kayo ng Panginoon kong Jesus, ng aking buhay, saan man ako bumaling, ika'y naroon, tumalikod man sa'yo. Dakilang pag-ibig mo sa aking tatawag at magpapalalang ako'y iyong kinikiling at siyang itatapat sa puso. Tinig ng kaibigan, ho'y gayahin ng ina. Pangarap ng ulila, misig ng dukha, ilaw ng may takot, ginhawa ng aba. Gayon ang Panginoon kong Jesus ng aking buhay, saan man ako bumalik, ika'y naroon, tumalikod man sa'yo. Dakilang pag-ibig mo sa akin, tatawag at magpapaalala. Ako'y iyong kinikilig at siyang itatapat sa puso. Saan man ako bumalik, ika'y naroon, tumalikod man sa'yo. Dakilang pag-ibig mo sa akin, tatawag at magpapaalala. Ako'y iyong kinikilig at siyang itatapat sa puso. At siyang itatapat sa puso. Shelter of the Lord, who abide in his shadow for life. Say to the Lord, my refuge, my rock, in whom I trust, and he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Kahapon po ay tumawag sa akin ang bispo. At sabi niya sa akin, Father, dito, si Monsignor Ferr pala ang nagbigay ng homily ng 25th anniversary mo. Silver anniversary ako last year, September 3. Sabi ng bispo natin, sa Gutierrez, baka pwede ikaw naman ang magbigay ng homily bukas. Father Francis, si Father Kiko. Sabi niya, tumawag naman sa iyo mismo. Sabi ko sa kanya, alam ko na. Dapat ikaw mag-booking sa bukas. Sabi niya sa akin, tawa ng tawa. Sabi, pasensya ka na kasi meron akong turo. Meron daw siyang klase ngayon. Pero alam mo po, isang tennis sa mga graduates namin, ICS, AS, ng IPMAS, siguro kahit sino sa aming mga na-under kay Monsignor Ferr, pwedeng magbigay ng opinion. Marami kaming mga karanasan, magaganda at hindi ganong maganda na karanasan sa aming rektor. Pero bawat isa ay may kwento, marami na pwedeng ibahagi. Tatandaan ko noong bumalik sa rito sa Pilipinas, mayroon na siyang sakit doon. Ang una namin ginawa ng mga alumni ng IPMAS na under na. Nag-gather kami, nag-get together kami kasama siya. Meron na sa noong walker at hindi na si Catherine makalakad. Kaya nandun pa doon sa gym ng seminaryo pag nag-get together. Nung kami nagkukwento-kwentuhan na, umiyak si Monsignor, Father Benny, tatandaan mo. Sabi niya sa amin, pasensya na kayo nung ako'y rektor ninyo sa seminaryo. Masyado ako naging mahigpit sa inyo. Baka masyado ko kayo pinahirapan. Pero alam niyo, marami sa amin ang nagsabi, Monsignor, kung ano ho kami ngayon bilang pari, ito ay dahil sa pagdidisiplina niyo sa amin. Ito ay dahil sa ikinalaman sa amin na pagiging ama nung kami ay mga seminarista. Mahigpit po si Monsignor bilang rektor, disiplinary na. Napaka-higpit niya sa oras. May mga pagkakataon na during lunch off, naglilipod siya sa corridor upang malaman na lahat ay natutulog na. Minsan, meron isang seminarista during study hour namin ng gabi. Nakita niya yung seminarista namin sa labas at naglilipod doon sa garden. Tinanong niya yung seminarista, ba't nandun po ba? Monsignor, nagpapalamig lang po. Di ba study hour niya? Opo, Monsignor. Sabi niya sa seminarista, bukas na bukas. Isummarize mo ang Summa Theologica. Pero meron kami mga like comments with Monsignor. Paborito niya na patawagin o kilitingin yung ilang mga seminarista na mali-mali sa amin. Wala yata si Father Rodney. Nakita ko si Father Rodney. Pagkakilinitiyan ng Monsignor at nagmali-mali na, tuloy-tuloy na, at magtatawa na ng mga seminarista. Susundan na ng Monsignor niya ng susundan na dito. I had my own personal encounter with Monsignor Ferr. And I would like to share with you 3 encounters with him. First, yun nga sa seminaryo, bilang rektor namin. May mga pagkakataon na napaka-busy ng Monsignor. Alam natin na sa yung panang kamay ng isang salman. Ang personal encounter ko sa kanya ay tatawagin niya ako, especially ng theologians na kami. Bibigyan niya ako ng topic at sasabihin niya sa akin, Father Vito, paki-research mo naman ito. So ako naman mag-research, ibibigay ko sa kanya yung ginawa ko. Sometimes, meron siyang autograph mo ng messages. Ipapublish natin dito sa isang newsletter. And those are my personal experiences. Very kind, very fatherly, pero very sweet. My second encounter with Monsignor Ferr was nung pari na kami. Kaya lang nagkataon na few years after our ordination, si Monsignor nagpunta na ng Amerika. Kaya during our early years of ministry, hindi namin nakasalamuhan si Monsignor at least dito sa diocese. Meron mga ilan, katulad nila Father Ferr, nakasama nila si Monsignor sa Amerika. Pero sa Amerika, si Monsignor was assigned or Monsignor worked as chaplain of the Metropolitan Prison in San Diego. Yun ang kanya naging ministry. Noong 2008, nagkaroon siya ng 20-ball bypass. 5 yung ball na binaypass sa kanya. Noong 2009, habang sa daw ay nagbibigay ng conference sa staff ng prison, siya ay nadapa, nasuksok. Kaya tumama yung kanyang ulo at nagkaroon siya ng subdural hematoma. Ibig sabihin, merong namukuha na dugo doon sa kanyang utak, sa kanyang ulo, at naging sanhi ng kanyang parang naging paralyzed ng kamay at ng paa. Parang na-stroke. Following that, na-diagnose naman siya na mayroong multiple myeloma, yung cancer of the blood plasma. So sunod-sunod, nagkaroon siya ng mga karamdaman. So probably around 2010 to 2008 at 2012, umuwi na rito si Monsignor at doon ako nagkaroon ng encounter with Monsignor sa Fatima Medical Center. Kasi sa tuwing sa umuwi, magpapa-physical therapy siya. At doon ay aalalayan ko siya, susubaybayan ko siya sa kanyang mga physical therapy. Although, habang nasa Amerika siya, even before, meron na akong parang contact with him. Dahil si Dr. Vicente Santos, yung may-ari ng Fatima, ay related kay Monsignor Gutierrez. Kaya marami rin sa mga pamangkin na nagtatrabaho sa Fatima University and Medical Center na nakapagbabalita sa akin. Sila Lisa, nasira si Lito, ang pagbabalita sa akin tungkol kay Monsignor. At meron siyang kasama hipag at mga pamangkin sa Amerika, si Calderin at sila Eddie, na kapag uuwi dito ay dumadalaw sa Fatima sa mga Santos at nagkakakwentuhan kami tungkol kay Monsignor. Kaya somehow, I have a connection with Monsignor even before na magkasakit siya. Nung meron na siyang karamdaman nga, nagpapag-physical therapy sa rito, at doon ko siya mas nakikilala, mas nakakakwentuhan. Hanggang every now and then, magda-dine out kami, i-invite ko siya sa akin, sa San Miguel, pupunta naman siya, and we got to know each other more. Nung aking 25th anniversary last year, sa yung kinuha kong predicador at tuwang-tuwa siya. Nagulat ako after nung anniversary celebration, siguro 1 month after, sabi niya sa akin, text siya, Father dito, puntahan dito sa akin, meron akong ibibigay last encounter with him, nung may sakit na siya, ay noong July 6. Dumalaw ako sa kanya dito sa kanyang bahay. In fact, the night before, nagka-high blood siya. And the week before, parang na-hospital siya dahil sa vertigo. Nagkwentuhan kami na matagal at binigay niya sa akin yung kanyang latest na aklat, Al-Tanghab. Ito na naman yung isang aklat na kanyang sinulat in Tagalog. Sabi ko sa kanya, "Sige po, Monsignor, babalik ako. Ibisitahin ko kayo, dadala ko kayo ng mga gulay." Kasi pumunta ako, dinala ko sa ng gulay. At yung daw ang pinahin ng Monsignor, sabi nung nag-aalaga si Ate Nati. Pero unfortunately, na-hospital. At tinext ko si Ate Nati, yung kanyang tagapagdalaga. Sabi ko, "Kumusta na si Monsignor?" Sabi ni Ate Nati sa text, "Okay po, si Monsignor, okay na po." So, hindi na ako nagdadala. Gusto ko sana sa bisitahin. Pero, okay na po si Monsignor. Pero last Monday, nung kausap ko si Ate Nati, sabi niya, "Alam mo, Father, nung tinext mo ko, kinapumusta ko siya, hindi okay si Monsignor. Naghihirap siya. Kaya lang sinabi ko sa kanya, Monsignor, kinukumusta po kayo ni Father dito?" Ang sabi daw ni Monsignor, "Sabihin mo kay Father dito, okay lang ako, huwag siyang mag-alala." Parang ayaw na niyang makabala. In the midst of his suffering, ayaw na niyang merong mag-alala. And that was the last encounter that I had with him as a priest. My third encounter sa kanyang mga aklat, sa kanyang mga libro. Doon ko mas nakilala si Monsignor. Doon ko mas nakita ang lalim ng kanyang pagiging pari, ang lalim ng kanyang pagiging tao, ang lalim ng kanyang commitment sa kanyang pagiging pari at ang pagmamahal niya sa simbahan. Napakaraming sinulat na aklat ng Monsignor. At marami sa atin na kopya ng mga aklat na ito. Lower Your Heads, Reflections, Gospel Reflections, Sunday Gospel Reflections, The Eucharist, Broken and Christ, Face of the Filipino Priesthood, Tears in a Battle, and the latest is Al-Tanghab. Meron pa isang kinukwento sa akin, ewan ko kung nakakabog. Pero sabi niya, meron siyang isinusulat, kung natatantama ang pagkakatanda ko, at the feet of Mary. Hindi ko alam kung ito ay natapos niya na nadala sa karisang pag-ibig. At yung maraming articles na kanyang isinulat sa isang journal, sabi ko, napakasipag niya magsulat. Napakasipag niya mag-research, magbasa. Kasi sa kanyang mga aklat, there are many quotes, philosophy, theology, from many authors, many writers. Sabi ko, hindi madaling isulat ito kung hindi siya magbabasa ng mga aklat na kanyang naging references. Yun yung lalim ng Monsignor. Doon ko siya mas na-encounter as a writer. Yung lalim ng kanyang pagpapali, yung lalim ng kanyang pagiging alagad ng simbahan, yung lalim ng kanyang pagiging tao, nagkaroon sa kanyang mga anak. Kaya ito ho, na encounter sa tayo namin ng Monsignor. as a seminarian, as a priest, and my encounter with him in schools. Pero anong reflections na gusto kong maibahagi po sa inyo with my encounter with him? As chaplain of Fatima University Medical Center, hindi lang mo si Monsignor ang nakataupalan ko pali na may sakit. Marami rin naman mga pali na nakonfine sa Fatima, may kasakit, at ilan yung namatay. The likes of Monsignor, Fernando, Father Fernando, Father Gutierrez, yung yung pali ng isip na dala dito natin, si Father Ferr, and so on. I have seen how they suffer in their sick bed, and even in their deathbed. Parang my realization is, pagtanda pala ng isang pari, pag nagkasakit siya, pagka malapit na siyang mamatay, parang meron isang nasa sa kalooban ng isang pari na gusto niya sana maranasan. And this is to be in the company of his brother Luis. Ito yung pagkakataon yung matandang pare, yung may sakit na pare, gusto niya makausap ang kanyang kapatid na pare. Gusto niya mabuksan ang kanyang puso, ang kanyang isipan sa kanyang kapatid na pare. And they find comfort and consolation with their brother Luis in their presence. Kaya, si Monsignor Ferr, siguro po kaya medyo naging malapit kami sa bandang huli. Madalas po ako nakikinig sa kanya lamang. Habang nagkukwento siya, habang meron siyang mga ibinabahagi sa akin, nakikinig lamang. And I learned that. That's why those moments when they are opening up with their brother Peace, those are the moments that we can capture the many faces of priesthood. Uniquely sa ating mga kapatid na pare. Gusto ko sana tapusin itong aking pagbabahagi sa inyo with the words of Monsignor Ferr doon sa kanyang aklat, Tears in a Bottle. Yung luha na nasa botella. Dahil sinasabi niya, sa rin ay bahagi ng pagluha sa kanyang buhay bilang pari at bilang isang tao. At ito yung sinabi niya. I have my own tears in a bottle. Even though my tears are born out of life's interruption and overwhelming sadness, I find sacredness in them. Through my tears, I see in a mirror of conversion a reflection of my unworthiness. Before I suffered my calamitous interruptions, my vision of God was defined by worldliness, self-centeredness, impatience, and anger. Now, through the cleansing power of tears, I see Him though still dimly as a loving and eternally compassionate God. And I think this summarizes who Monsignor Fernando Gutierrez is. Amen. Sana naman anak ng Spirit. Amen.
have made you, I have saved you, I have called you, you are mine, you are precious to me, and I love you. Be not afraid, be not afraid. When you pass through waters that rage, I am with you. In the rivers you shall not drown. Walk through the fire and its flames will not consume you, for I am God.
Be not afraid, I have made you, I have saved you, I have called you, you are mine, you are precious to me, and I love you. Be not afraid, be not afraid.
Even if you wander away from my loving, far away from home you might stray, still will I seek you and gently take you with me and bring you back.
Not afraid, I have made you, I have saved you, I have called you, you are mine, you are precious to me, and I love you. Be not afraid, be not afraid. I will go before you and level the mountains, give you treasures from out of the dark. Long hidden riches will stream at last from you, for I am God.
Be not afraid, I have made you, I have saved you, I have called you, you are mine, you are precious to me, and I love you. Be not afraid, be not afraid, be not afraid. Be not afraid.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summers go and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But call me back when summer's in the meadow.
I'm sorry that I left you. I know you feel alone, but God told me that He needed me. He called me to come home. In what seemed to be an instant, in the twinkling of an eye, an angel gently took my hand and led me toward the sky. As I ascended into heaven, beyond the pearly gates, angels were rejoicing. Then I saw His radiant face. God's eyes shone down upon me from the glory of His throne. He said, enter into paradise, 'cause heaven's now your home. I fought the fight, I finished the race. Throughout the trial, I kept my faith. No longer do I suffer, my body's been made whole. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home. God told me not to worry. He said you'd be okay, because eternity's forever, and we'll meet again someday. I fought the fight, I finished the race. Throughout the trial, I kept my faith. No longer do I suffer, my body's been made whole. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home.
Even though I might not have met you before, I still love you.
Rest in peace, Uncle Ferr.
We wish you love and aloha from our family.
Dear Ferr, I'm so sorry that I didn't get to say my aloha to you, but remember, you will always be in our hearts, and we send our love and aloha from here.
I'm glad I went home on your last birthday. Rest in peace with our parents and brothers. I'll miss talking to you about our youth, about our town, and I'll miss you very, very much. So from Yoli and I and our family, we bid you aloha.
Hello everyone, we're the Hansons from San Diego, and we want to thank you all for joining us for Uncle Ferr's celebration of life. Thank you much for all your outpouring of love and prayers around the world.
Aloha Ferr, you'll always be missed. I wish we had more people like you.
Thank you, Uncle Ferr, for being a very important person in our lives. You're the one that married Loveland and myself. You are very important to our children. We will miss you dearly, and we feel the outpouring of love from all the other people out there globally that mourns the loss.
I love you all for your being kind to the family.
We'll always miss you and love you. Thank you.
Thank you for everyone who is in attendance today. My name is Ray Barlahan. I am the nephew of my Uncle Ferr, also known to many of you as Monsignor Fernando Gutierrez. Most of my memories, especially as a kid, involve my uncle. And while growing up, he was always like a second father to my sister Lovelyn and I. Many people respected him and looked up to him as he was a man of God, a priest, a leader of his church and the community. But while growing up, to my sister and I, he was always the goofy, funny, and fun uncle that would visit and stay with us in the States for a couple of months every year until he decided later to reside in the States permanently. Whenever he would arrive, he would always shower us with souvenirs and gifts from his many travels around the world. He would also attend my sister and I's performances and functions for our many extracurricular activities. He would also take us out to fun places when my parents were too busy. He was truly the epitome of what a fun, caring, and loving uncle should be. As a priest and leader in his community, his services were the most entertaining because if you knew my uncle, he loved to make jokes and wouldn't be afraid to use humor during his services. And this is what my uncle was all about in most cases. Enjoying the company of others, helping guide others, making people happy, and sharing laughs with friends and loved ones. I'll never forget the lessons he taught me. I'll also never forget the smiles and laughs he brought many people while growing up. And I'll miss you, Uncle Ferr.
I am Ferr Gutierrez Guarin, Monsignor Gutierrez's niece from his brother Pedro. A lot of people say that I am his female version, not just in looks, but in being actively involved in the parish and other Catholic organizations. When Monsignor became the pastor of St. Michael in San Diego in 1996, we transferred to become parishioners of St. Michael to support him. We became actively involved in the activities of the parish since and stayed parishioners at this parish to date. Monsignor became one of the spiritual directors of the Cursillo movement here in San Diego, which I am a member. The movement loved him so much. Every time there was a class and he would be the speaker, everyone was very attentive and very much into his talk because they did not want to miss any of his message, especially the jokes that he made. He was also loved by the El Shaddai group and conducted several retreats to the group. In one of the retreats, I remember that on the last day, he was hearing confessions, and everyone who joined the retreat was encouraged to make confession, which I refused at first because I said, I don't want my uncle to know what I have to confess. But at the end, I did it anyway, and I saw how happy he was, and he gave me a big hug. The one message that I cannot forget in one of his talk was, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you. Monsignor was my travel buddy at several pilgrimages. In 2005, we joined the Marian pilgrimage together with my mom. Monsignor was the spiritual director of the group.
Asawa ni Benjamin, kapatid ni Fernando. Ngayon, ako ay magpapasalamat sa mga panahon na tayo nagkasama-sama at nagkatulong-tulong sa lahat ng bagay. Kaya malungkot ang aming naging kaalaman dahil kami hindi makauwi diyan dahil meron Bobby. Pinagdadasal naman namin na ikaw naman ay makarating ng malulahati at makapiling mo ating Panginoon diyan. Ngayon, mga anak mong iba naman nagsipagsalita na makikita na ninyo. Saka, ikaw na ang pangalawang ama ng aking mga anak nung mamatay ang aking asawa, si Benjamin. Kaya eto si Boy, siya naman ang magsasalita sa inyo.
Magandang araw. Ako si Boy Gutierrez, anak ni Ben at Birain. Magpapasalamat ako sa Tatang Ferr sa lahat ng tulong niya sa payo. Dahil siya ang tumayong pangalawang magulang namin nung mawala ang ama. Nandito ako ngayon sa California, hindi ako makakauwi sa Pilipinas dahil sa COVID. Hindi na ako magkukwento ng mahaba dahil alam kong maraming magsasalita. Tatang Ferr, may you rest in peace. At mapapahinga ka na ng maayos. Tapos na rin ang paghihirap mo. We miss you. Rest in peace. Salamat.
Hi, ako po si Eli Gutierrez Mariano, na pamangkin ni Monsignor Fernando Gutierrez sa kanyang kapatid na si Ben Gutierrez. Sa kasalukuyan po ay dito ako nakatira sa Carson, California, kaya lubos ko pong ikinalulungkot na hindi ko makakapiling ang mahal kong tiyuhin sa huling pagkakataon dahil po sa COVID-19. Napapasalamat po ako sa Tatang Ferr sa lahat ng tulong na ginawa niya sa aming pamilya. Lalong-lalo na po noong pumanaw ang aking ama na si Ben Gutierrez. Siya po ang tumayong ama na aking mga kapatid at umagapay sa aking ina sa kanilang paglaki. Tatang Ferr, iyakap niyo po ako sa ama, kay Danny at kay Dean. Nagpapasalamat din po ako sa lahat ng mga dumamay sa aming pagluluksa sa pagkawala ng aming mahal na tiyuhin na si Monsignor Ferr. Tatang Ferr, you'll be forever in our hearts. We will deeply miss you. Have a peaceful journey and bye for now.
Good afternoon, Philippines. Good afternoon, Gutierrez clan. I'm here. I'm Nelson Kate, husband of Victoria Kate, son-in-law of Barbara Gutierrez. I heard, the news that Monsignor Gutierrez passing away, and I'm so sad and I'm shocked. But anyway, everybody's gonna go there, and hopefully, our Tatang have a place for us in heaven. And Tatang, salamat sa lahat, sa mga payo. Ikaw ang nagkasal sa amin. May your soul reach your destination in heaven. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victoria Gutierrez Kate, nakatira sa California, anak ni Benjamin at Barbara Gutierrez, na isa sa pamangkin ni Tatang Ferr. Pasensya na, hindi kayo makakauwi dahil sa pandemic. Ganun pa man, miss namin ang Tatang Ferr. Isa sa parang naging tumayong tatay sa amin. Maraming word na kailangan sabihin sa kanya pero hindi enough ang video na to. Pero alam na niya yun. So, Tatang, rest in peace.
Hello, my name is Vincent Kate, and Tatay Ferr to me was someone with great wisdom. At the time, I was only a little boy, and I didn't really fully understand what he was trying to tell me at times. But as I grew older, and now figuring out that he's dead, I kind of appreciate all the wisdom that he gave me and how that flourished within my life up until now. And for Tatay Ferr especially, and to the family of the Gutierrez, I pray to you, and I hope Tatay Ferr is watching all over us.
I'm Kate, and I didn't really know him as well because all of my memories of him were when I was younger, but I guess I can say that I'll miss him a lot.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, and this is my family. Tatang Ferr is my grand uncle. He is my grandpa's brother. My grandpa is Ben Gutierrez. It is with great sadness that we are unable to join you during his funeral due to COVID, but we are super blessed and grateful to know that you are all there to celebrate and honor his life. And thank you for that. My uncle, my Tatang Ferr, was known for a lot of things. He achieved many things. He was a Monsignor, he was an Asian Journal contributor, and he was an author of many books. But he was mostly known for his sermons and how he used his humor to convey the message to the community and to his audience. He uses jokes to lighten the load of any sad moment. And to break the ice. It was his way to connect with people, and he did such a great job at it. I'm so grateful for all the times that me and my family had with him and all the memories we made through the years. But the thing that I'll remember the most is when I was little, he would always bring me balut and chicken barbecue. When I was little, whenever he visited me at my grandma's house in Bulacan, because my parents were starting their life in the United States. So he made sure that me and my grandma were okay. So for that, I'm forever thankful to Tatang Ferr that he always found time to look after his family. Tatang Ferr, we love you so much. I will miss you. I'll miss your corny jokes. I'll miss your handsome smile. And above all, I'll miss the sound of your laughter. Thank you for all the great memories. Mahal na mahal ka namin. So until we see you, goodbye for now. And thank you all again for honoring his life and remembering him and all the fond memories you have with and of him.
I'm Paul Kate, one of the grandnephews. I recall seeing him every year in San Diego. It was good seeing him every time. I'm sad for his loss, and may he be free from pain and suffering. And
hi everyone, this is Scud. I'm related to Tatang Ferr, one of his grandchildren. Man, that's crazy. Many blessings and many prayers out to Tatang Ferr. I know he's looking up there, down on us. Love you, man. I miss you. You know, I always will remember that, you know, him and I would have the same birthdays, different years, although he's a lot older. January 30th. Every time it's January 30th, always think about him, you know, always wonder how he's doing. Always grew up him coming over to the house, doing some masses or coming over just to say hello, you know, just say, you know, see how everyone is doing. But love you, Tatang Ferr, and I always miss you.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay si Feli Gutierrez Barlahan. Ako po ang kapatid ng yumaong si Monsignor Fernando Gutierrez. At ito naman po ang aking mabuting asawa na si Ernie Barlahan.
Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much sa lahat ng mga kamag-anak, mga kaibigan, mga membro ng kaparian, at lahat sa pag-share ng aming kalungkutan o paggunita sa pagkawala ni Monsignor Gutierrez. Thank you for your prayers, your time in this time of sorrow. We are very much more grateful on this time of pandemic. We are very far away here in California, but with the love and dedication of certain family members, Vicky, Sophia, and Lolly, and others not mentioned in Bulacan, we are not so handicapped to give the final going away arrangement to our departed brother. Thank you very much again. God bless.
Marami pong salamat para sa aking kapatid sa inyong pakikiramay sa amin. I know he will be missed by everyone, but now he is in the house of the Lord in His eternal heaven. Salamat po.
Maraming po salamat. Good afternoon po sa inyo.